Earth is Carmen Sandiego.
Where is Carmen Sandiego? Carmen Sandiego. Where on earth can she be? Tell me where is Carmen Sandiego? Carmen Sandiego. Where on earth can she be? Where on earth can she be? Lady Tower Pizza. Timbuktu, can you help us find it?
Cool. I'm up for a spot of tea and me paper, I can tell you.
I'll be glad when this special showing of the crown jewels is over and they're back in the underground vault.
Yeah, me too. You check the cases, I'll do the rounds. Alan! Someone's on the roof! Hold it right there.
What's this?
Whoa! It's Carmen Sandiego's, lads.
Ha! Imagine Carmen thinking she could ever steal the crown jewels. That'll show her, eh, what?
Tomorrow's front page ought to be more exciting than this. White lion cubs found in Africa. Not exactly what you'd call earth-shaking, now is. Hello? Did you feel something?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit queasy. Better take a bit of fresh air.
I'll join you.
Ah!
Ah! Oh, blast it! We're gonna catch Woodall for this!
We're not gonna clear Tower Bridge!
Jump for it, mate! She's done it! Carmen Sandiego has actually stolen the crown jewels and part of the Tower of London.
I'll find you wherever you go, Carmen.
You may find me, player, but you'll always miss me by a whisker.
Okay, listen up, gumshoes. You're looking at part of the world-famous Tower of London. The central White Tower, to be exact. Now, it's a little confusing at first, then it gets downright muddy. But the whole castle is actually the Tower of London, right? And it has more than a dozen towers.
Hey, Chief, wasn't the Tower of London a famous prison?
Exact attack, Zack! This place was a royal palace and a serious slammer both at the same time. Talk about your big house. Some of the more famous prisoners were Anne Boleyn, a wife of Henry VIII, and Sir Walter Raleigh. Not bad cellmates if you can get them.
But the place is a museum now and holds the British crown jewels.
So, what's it doing in Mongolia, Chief?
Last night, Carmen Sandiego plucked it right off the bank of the River Thames. And she deposited it 6,000 miles away in the Gobi Desert. Oh, I tell you, if the place was still being used for a prison, the Queen of England would give Carmen Sandiego the penthouse suite and throw away the key.
We're on our way to investigate. Player, C5 us out of here.
One thing, though. No way I'm wearing this to the desert, okay?
Hello? Think again, Zach. Not all deserts are hot. They just don't have water.
Ivy's right, Zach. You're on your way from San Francisco, California to desolate Mongolia. Better zip up that parka, because the Gobi Desert is farther north than any other desert in the world. Winter temps can drop to 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ah, great. The C5 blew our landing again. No Tower of London in sight.
I hope you can speak Mongolian, Zach.
Not a word, but some Mongolians speak Chinese.
Good. Say something nice. Fast.
Jinwen! Niyo meyo kanjian lundunta!
Yeah!
What did you say?
I'm not exactly sure. I either asked for directions or said their sisters watch ugly camels. Let go!
They're Carmen's henchmen! Thanks for the lift, but I think I'll ride with my brother if you don't mind. Come on, let's get to the roof. Whoa! Hit it! Whoa, what in the world was that?
Oh, so sorry. I fired a flare gun and frightened off your pursuers. Inspector Sir Nigel Fenwick, Scotland Yard.
Cool, the famous London police. I'm Zach. This is Ivy. We're from the Acme Detective Agency.
It'll be very exciting working with me. You'll learn ever so much. It appears only 2 diamond necklaces are missing from the costume display.
Why would Carmen go through this elaborate heist for 2 necklaces and leave the crown jewels behind?
A simple Carmen clue, which I discovered when I first arrived, gives us the answer. There you have it. Now, we'll take my jet to Vancouver, Canada, where you can watch me catch Carmen red-handed.
Wait a minute. How could you deduce that it was Vancouver, Canada that quickly?
Elementary, my dear Ivy. Time was the essential clue.
Ivy, he's right. It's 6 o'clock p.m. here in Mongolia, but Carmen's clock is set at 3 a.m. Player, where in the world is it 3 o'clock right now?
Submitted for your approval. You've just crossed over into the time zones.
When the sun is casting light on one side of the planet, it's day, but on the other side, it's night.
Ooh, wait, gnarly, because right now in the Pacific time zone, it's 3 o'clock a.m. from Mexico on to Alaska, dudes.
Is there a famous steam clock anywhere in that time zone?
Check it out. One of the most famous steam clocks in the world is right here in Vancouver, Canada.
Come on, Ivy. This Sir Nigel guy is good.
Wait a minute, Zach. You know the first rule of good detective work. Check and double-check all your clues before making a deduction.
Look!
Now, why would Carmen use an eagle instead of a cuckoo in a cuckoo clock? And...
My next theft? Maybe it's a hideout in the park.
I bet Sir Nigel didn't even hear this part of the clue. And I've already figured it out.
You have?
It's elementary, my dear Zach. An eagle was a famous symbol of the ancient Romans.
My next theft? Maybe it's a hideout in the park.
Maybe it's a hideout in the park. Carmen's doing a bad Italian accent.
Ivy, that doesn't sound... Go ahead, Chief.
Hot tip from CrimeNet. We just confirmed it was Carmen Sandiego who pulled off a heist 2 days ago. The Kaimu Black Sand Beach in Hawaii.
The whole beach?
And her henchmen have now moved into an area around Stanley Park in, get this, Ivy, Vancouver, Canada.
What could they be after? Infoscan Stanley Park.
Near an entrance to the park, there's a group of totem poles carved by native Indian tribes like the Tlingit, the Haida, and the...
Whoa, wait a minute. Ivy, that was no Italian accent. She meant the Haida Indian totem pole in Stanley Park.
You mean Sir Nigel was right?
Player, the C5 Express.
Okay, you globe-hopping sleuthmeisters, you're on your way from Mongolia to Vancouver, the largest city in British Columbia, Canada. Know what I mean, eh? Oh, never mind.
All right, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Sir Nigel must have called ahead to warn him.
Wait a minute. Something's very wrong here.
Tickets from the boss.
Nowadays, Mounties only wear their red coats for ceremonies. These guys are fake, Zach.
Hey, what's going on?
Run, Zach! Whoa!
All right, that's enough exercise for tonight. You're coming with us.
What are you doing with us?
Today, the Tower of London holds the crown jewels. What did it also hold in its illustrious past? The Tower of London once held prisoners. Ivy, Canada exports logs. They don't bring them back to the woods. I got a bad feeling about this stop.
You two have a good ride?
Not as good as the one you're gonna take.
After them! They're heading into the woods!
Don't lose them. Carmen went to a lot of trouble to lure him here.
Whoa! Ivy!
I got you, Zach!
Did you see him land?
No, maybe they're further up the river.
Zach, this is brilliant.
Thank the beavers. They build these lodges for warmth in the winter and for protection from predators. Like Carmen's henchmen. All the air we could want.
And now, if we only like to eat bark.
We're sure lucky that beaver dam was in the right place at the right time.
Lucky would be having one of those henchmen's tickets. Then we could figure out Carmen's next move.
Hey, what's this imprint here, sis?
Whoa, I must have rolled on something when I fell.
Got a mirror?
Still looks backwards to me.
That's because the alphabet isn't always as simple as ABC, Ivy. We write with Roman letters, but this is the Cyrillic alphabet, used in Russia and Bulgaria.
What's it say?
It's a ticket for the Trans-Siberian Express.
Woohoo! Player, C5 us there!
You're on your way from Vancouver, Canada to over 5 million square miles of some of the coldest land on Earth, Russian Siberia. Temperatures get to, check this out, 90 degrees below zero. They say in the dead of winter you can spit and it freezes before it hits the ground. If that's your idea of a good time.
Кто это?
Все нормально, все нормально. Мы из агентства по расследованию АКМЕ.
Да, я слышал о вас.
Well, at least the C5 hit the mark this time. Ah!
Hey, a purebred Russian blue.
What is it with you and cats, Zach?
Миша, иди сюда.
Whoa, he feeds his cat caviar, Ivy.
Сегодня тебе повезло, Миша. Целая коробка была разбита в последнем вагоне.
Ivy, could it be Carmen's after a boxcar full of caviar?
Sure, but how does caviar connect with the totem pole, the black Hawaiian sand, and 2 necklaces?
It's caviar to us, but to Misha, fish eggs are the ultimate cat food. If Carmen's a cat lover, then she sees kitty collars where we see diamond necklaces. To us, they're totem poles, but to her, they're the ultimate kitty scratching posts.
Okay, I'll bite. But how does the black beach sand fit into this cat theory?
Now, Ivy, if you've got to ask that, you should never own a cat. And if my hunch is correct, Carmen's henchmen should be in the caviar boxcar right this minute.
10 seconds to the trestle.
Five seconds between each hole. Now! Now!
Tickets, please?
Am I too late?
Go ahead, Chief.
I got a Scotland Yard roster report you might be interested in. This is Sir Nigel Fenwick of Scotland Yard. And this is Frank Imposter, a Carmen Sandiego henchman and master of disguise.
I knew there was something I didn't like about you.
Well, I guess the little masquerade is over. So now it's my job to throw you off the track, so to speak.
Vancouver, Canada manufactures iron and steel. Can you name another of its top manufactured products? Another of Vancouver, Canada's top manufactured products is lumber.
You've forgotten one detail, Mr. Frank Imposter. We have you, and when this train stops, you'll be arrested by the Russian police.
Oh my, how embarrassing. I could just sink right through the floor.
No, you don't! Ivy!
До свидания!
Ivy! Swing, Zach! It's the only way! Ah! Ah!
Ivy?
Yeah, Zach?
We're both smart people. So how come we always wind up doing things that make us look like we have the IQ of beef jerky?
I don't know. Forget it. Now, come on, think. If Carmen's shopping for a kitty, what kind do you think she'd go after?
Clear. Info scan cats.
Ancient Egyptians domesticated cats, at first to control rats, but later they were considered sacred. The cats, not the rats.
Wait a minute. If Carmen is using the diamond necklaces for collars, she'd have to be after some pretty big cats.
Put him all the way up. Put him all the way up. I didn't know he was your dog.
Lions and tigers and leopards. Oh, my.
Maybe she's after an Asian lion. They're one of the rarest big cats in the world with only about 400 left.
Nah, Carmen wouldn't settle for just rare. She'd pick unique.
White lions are among the most unique in the world. Though native to South Africa, 2 cubs are being cared for in a clinic in Zimbabwe.
Whoa, what are the odds on white lion cubs like that?
Funny you should ask. It's very rare. Less than 1% of all lions in the world are white lions. And the odds against 2 white lions, ooh, baby, astronomical.
Little bro, it's as good a start as any.
Player, C5 us to the Zambezi National Park in Zimbabwe, Africa.
From one of the coldest places on Earth to one of the hottest, Siberia, Russia to Africa. The second largest continent in the world, Africa, is the home of the Sahara Desert, Mount Kilimanjaro in Kenya, and the tropical rainforest of the Congo. All right, listen up. You're headed to one of Africa's 52 independent countries, Zimbabwe. The Zambezi National Park is on the Zambezi River, which flows into a waterfall that's, get this, 1 mile wide and 350 feet high. It was named by the famous Dr. Livingstone to honor the Queen of England.
Queen Victoria, what shall we name this? Her Majesty's Cataracts? No. Sounds like an eye problem. Queen's Cascade? No. Bigger! Aha! By Jove, that's it! Victoria Falls!
Look, a Carmen henchman.
You go high, I'll go low. Tie him up with these. Carmen!
Quick, Zach, help me tie this guy up. She's getting away! Look, let's take those zebras.
Ivy, zebras don't tame easily. We can never ride one.
Well, we can't chase Carmen on our own 2 feet.
Nope, but we can on their 2 feet.
Ostriches?
These guys are custom made for an African chase. They can go from 0 to 40 miles an hour in less than 10 seconds.
Monsieur Dunya! Monsieur Dunya!
Good work, Ivy. I'll call in the cavalry. You head them off at the pass.
Carmen stole one of their canoes. She headed downriver.
What he said back there, S1Ep4, what does that mean?
I don't know. I got bad news, Ivy. There's Carmen's henchmen coming from behind.
I got worse news, Zach. There's a waterfall ahead.
I figured it out. S1Ep4 is their word for Victoria Falls, and that's a 350-foot drop. No. I got the other one, Ivy. We gotta get out now. Hurry, Ivy. My foot can't hold the boat much longer.
What? Let go of the leash, Carmen.
No. I've created a splendid environment on my own private game preserve, Ivy. You give her up.
Game's over, Carmen. You lose. Carmen, give me your hand. You'll go over the falls.
Carmen!
No!
Ciao.
Carmen's done it again, huh?
Yeah. Well, at least we saved everything she stole, including these little guys. Whoa! Hey, no, stop! Stop! Help! Ivy, help me! Stop!
I thought you were finished for sure, Carmen.
Cats don't have 9 lives the way people say, but I do, player.
I'll catch you soon enough.
You have to find me first, and the world is my hiding place. See you next crime.
Sandiego. Cookie jar!